Okay, for these scapular mobilization drills, we're going to be rotating the shoulder in a circle. So really, like our mind is in our scapula, in our shoulder blade here. So we're going to pick a direction. And for this first one, I'm just locking my elbow out and I'm trying to keep my hand down by my waist, down by my hip. And the band is creating a little bit of backwards tension to challenge that. And so I do 10 reps in one direction and then 10 reps in the other direction, being mindful of scapular elevation, protraction, depression, and retraction, moving in a circle. So the band is trying to pull my arm into extension. Extension. And now getting into the second position, the band is now pulling my shoulder into extension, flexion actually. It's trying to pull my hand forward, so it's pulling me into flexion. And again, we're just going to do the same movement, rotating that scapula through the 4 directions in a circle. Keeping that elbow nice and locked out so that we can target the scapula. If it's too difficult, then either use a lighter band or just move towards the anchor point of the band to reduce the load somewhat. And then this next position, we're going to bring the arm around the back and repeat the same movement. So now the band is pulling our shoulder into abduction. So it's pulling the arm towards the midline, towards the torso, with a slightly more back emphasis. Having a back emphasis like this means that it's going to be harder to pull into protraction. So 10 in each direction. And then spinning around and having the arm in front of yourself, so that again the band is pulling us into adduction, but it's now got a protraction emphasis because we're pulling across the front, so it's going to be harder to go into retraction. Again, 10 in one direction, 10 in the other. For this next movement, we're going to try to pin the band to our lower back, to our lumbar area. This is going to make it more difficult to go into protraction. It's going to be pulling us into both retraction and extension. 10 in one direction, 10 in the other. And with this one, we're just going to get some nice rotational movements in the body so that the anchor point is directly behind us and we are opening up the torso, externally rotating the shoulder and then closing the torso and internally rotating the shoulder. 10 reps in each direction. And this one, we're going to try and get a higher anchor point on here. I've got this band attached to my rings and I've got the rings up high towards the ceiling. And again, we're going through those same circular motions, keeping my elbow as locked out as I can. 10 in each direction as usual. And I'm leaning forward so that the emphasis is going above my head, as if the band is attached straight above me. So my torso is at an angle that points towards the anchor point. And again, this one is, we're going to come over the head. Unfortunately, the camera that I was using to film some of these has cut off the top part of the video, but hopefully you can see it's pretty much the same as 2 movements ago where we are internally and externally rotating the shoulder. But this time we're going to see if we can bring it over the head. And obviously repeat everything on the other shoulder. You don't have to do the whole thing on one shoulder before going over to the other shoulder. I would say pick 1 or 2 movements, do them on one side and then do 1 or 2 movements on the other side and then change your movement.